Well, it's arrived, my tax bill. I've been in my condo for 2 years, so I just got my tax bill. That means I'm going on year 3. 2 complete years in my condo. Tax bill, 606 baht. That's for a year, and that equals $18 US. $18 for a year of taxes here in the condo. So you guys want to hear one of the crazy things about Thailand and the burning here? Somebody's burning somewhere, and it smells so smoky, it's setting a fire alarm off in my building, and nobody knows how to turn it off. What's up, guys? It's Greeny. I'm going into year 3 in my condo. Is this when everything goes to hell? Well, certain things have happened over the last year that has made the condo still pretty good, but few negative points. And in this video, I want to share some nightmares about owning a condo here in Thailand. Things have happened. Not everything's been, sunshine and rainbows. Does that go together? Sunshine and rainbows in the past year. So I'm going to share with you some of my experiences, some other things that I've personally seen, some stories I've been told, and also I did a video about 1 year ago when I was 1 year into my condo. So 1 year ago, 1 year into my condo, and I got a ton of comments. A lot of people pointing out the negatives of owning a condo in Thailand. So I'm going to share some of those comments with you. I would say maybe 20% of the comments were negative, and probably 50% good, and the rest kind of neutral. Before I get started in this video, if you could just take 1 minute, just take 10 seconds and subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. It'll help that algorithm. The last video I made on the subject got 250,000 views, so I want to try to hit that again in this video. So if you can just subscribe, like, it'll really help the algorithm. Another reason I want you guys to subscribe is I'm going to be putting out a follow-up video to this. I was doing some research on this subject, and I came across a story. It's a few years old, but it's about the worst possible scenario that you could have for buying a property here in Thailand. I want to share this story. It's a whole long story. I'm going to make a separate video about that. Let's get into this video. So what's happened to me in the last year? I would say that all my issues here in my condo that have been negative have been water related. So I'm going to go through those with you. And I've been lucky because other people have had it much worse than me. Number 1, I was in the bathroom. This was like a month ago. And I'm using the bathroom 4:30 in the morning just the oddest coincidences. I'm in the bathroom going to number 1, standing up there. And before I even start going, I start hearing like water spraying. I look down, it's not me. I didn't start going yet. I hear water spraying, and I had the lights out in the bathroom. So I look up, I'm looking around, I'm wondering, the guy above me, he's doing construction. Redoing his whole unit upstairs. I'm thinking, like, did something happen? Did something break in the water? So I'm looking around to see if anything's leaking. I mean, I hear this water spraying, then I feel my foot getting wet, and I'm like, holy shit! I turn on the lights. I look underneath my sink. That's where it's coming from, and my water line, the one going from the little hot water tank thing. It's like a little tankless hot water thing. That thing is just spraying out water. So I turned that off, and it stopped, and I had to go get a new, hold on one second. Okay, a new one of these things. And so what I did is I bought enough to like change every one of these in my unit, because I don't want it to start leaking when I'm not here. I mean, by the mere coincidence, I just happened to be in there right when it happened. But imagine if I wasn't. Now, the good thing is, if this happens in my bathroom, I have a drain. I have a drain in the bathroom, and it'll just go right down the drain, no big deal. But another unit in my building, this happened, I think it was on the 6th floor, and the people were out of town. Nobody knew about it until the person below them's unit started getting flooded. That's going to cause some damage, and it's the person that lives above that's going to be responsible for that, because I guess they've sent memos out to change these things or whatever, and I didn't know about it, but I'm going to be changing all mine now and keeping an eye on it. And I think it's where the hot water is that it gets eaten away faster. Me personally, besides that happening, like I said, the guy above me, he's been doing a ton of construction on his unit. I mean, he made it like the Taj Mahal over here. He's put a ton of money in it. But he had some new air conditioning units put in, and one of them, the one in the living room, is leaking. Somehow it leaked in the wall, and in his unit, water started coming through his plug and different things. It's brand new, just got installed. It leaked a little bit, I'll show you. I got a little watermark on my ceiling, got a little wet, but no big deal. They're gonna fix it. He'll pay for it. The company will pay for it. Whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna be out too much money. Two other water-related things. I have a window right here. This window. When it pours in the rainy season, about two, three times a year, the water comes from like the ocean into my thing, and water started coming in. I don't know how it was coming in. I think the seal wore off on the outside. I had them recaulk my windows on that side of the building. Now, it never rained again since then, in that direction. So I won't find out till next rainy season if that's a fix. And the last one was by my front door. I had water pouring in. This was right when I moved in. I think this was happening before I moved in. And they came, they found the issue and, fixed it, repatched my wall, repainted everything. That was coming from the outside, the caulking outside. I didn't pay for anything, but I'm lucky. My maintenance people here, the joystick and the maintenance, it's good. They're on top of things. Now let's touch on that. The number one question that I had was, Greeny, your maintenance charges, how much is that? So basically, I'm paying 5,400 baht a month for maintenance, which is $158, which is very high for Thailand. However, like I said, they're on top of things here. I really have not had much complaint. I mean, they're painting rails, they're polishing things, and doing all types of stuff here. Electric comes in at about 1,656 baht a month, which is $48. $48 a month when you're using AC a lot here. That's nothing. Now I do think it's down quite a bit because it wasn't the hottest time of year, and also I'm getting more used to the heat, so I don't run the aircon as much as I used to. And water, $5 a month. $5 a month for the water. Constantly taking 2 showers a day, washing dishes, washing clothes. I have a washing machine. I mean, it's crazy. I do also pay 50 baht for every time I want to fill up my 5-gallon water cooler thing, and they deliver them downstairs. I just change it out and do that. Let's get into some of the negatives of owning a condo here in Thailand, and just tell you some of the negatives I can think of offhand from talking to people, seeing things, and I'm going to share a couple of horror stories with you from people I know. If you're in one of those complexes that doesn't have a real strong juristic office and they're not on top of things, these are the things that can happen. There can be Airbnb rentals in your complex, and you could be having people come and go. They may be loud, they may have bad habits. That's definitely a pain in the ass. You don't want to be living, if you're going to live there, you don't want to be somewhere where they're doing Airbnb rentals. Now, if you buy it to rent it and it's an investment, well, maybe you want to rent it that way, whatever. Buildings have walls that are just thin, ceilings that are thin, where you hear everything. I've just recently had a guy move upstairs. Fortunately for me, I don't hear anything. So pretty good, pretty good. Nightmare number 3 is buying into a complex that's not complete. You put money down and then there's delays, or it gets canceled, or it's not being built and you're out money. That happens all the time, especially during COVID. That happened to many, many people. You just got to do your due diligence. Got to do your homework, make sure that that's going to get done if that's the way you're doing it. Check the reputation of the company, check their past building record, and decide what you want to do. In my complex, I've also observed that sometimes people don't get along too well. Not everybody's going to get along with each other, so kind of better, to just stay neutral, mind your own business, don't get involved in other people's affairs. But there's a lot of different reasons for that. People end up having wars with the board. There's issues. People want to get things done. People take offense when things don't get done. Sometimes things don't get done that should get done. The board drags their feet, or they don't want to deal with it, or they don't think it's important enough, or want to put it off to the next year for a vote. I mean, there's a lot of different things that come into play when you're in a condominium complex. Let me read you some of the comments that some of my viewers made about the last video. Negatives of buying a condo in Thailand. I almost said Florida there, and I almost bought a condo in Florida back a while ago, and it would have been in Fort Myers, and that's where they had a hurricane, so who knows what would have happened if I would have ended up buying there. I'll get back to that in one second. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going to share a couple horror stories with you from some friends of mine. This comment was from one of my viewers, Terry, and he said he had a condo in Jomtien for 10 years. Year 1, the car park needed resurfacing. Year 2, water tank on the roof needed replacing. Year 3, sump pump needed as well in the well under the building. Year 4, pool sinking fund needed to be replaced. Year 5, CCTV installed. Year 6, interior and exterior painting. Year 7, roof needed to be replaced and sealed. Year 8, ceiling coming down due to flooding. Year 9, woodworm infestation. Year 10, sold it for the same price he bought it for. So after paying all the association fees and everything, he sold for the same price. You know, I don't know how much money and how much sinking fund advances the condo needed or how much money he put into it. It doesn't say, but you know, even if you live there 10 years and you live somewhere 10 years rent free and got back your money put into it, I don't think that's all that bad. But you know, that I've been here 2 years and haven't had any major issues like that. But let's get to the next one. Okay, John says, yeah, it's great until they start building other buildings near yours and block your view, and there's noisy construction sounds all the time. Yeah, that would suck. All right, Ed has a good comment because this is something I did want to point out. Bad reasons buying a condo: big taxes at initial sale, big taxes on exit selling the condo. 3, dues increase over time. My dues have been the same. However, since I've bought my condo, they did change a law in Thailand. So initially when I bought my condo, there was a law that I think as long as you were here 1 or 2 years, then you didn't have to pay taxes when you sell it. Well, they've extended that to 5 years. So if I sell my condo before I live here 5 years, then I think it's like 3% that I'm gonna have to pay taxes on it. So that's changed. That's something they threw into the mix that didn't affect me before. Kind of a negative if I want to leave. I received a couple comments to the effect of what happens if you leave Thailand, you come back in, and they don't let you in, or the visa situation changes constantly, and they're afraid to just not be allowed back into Thailand and lose their investment. I guess that can happen, but it's been years and years and years that Thailand's had treaties with the United States as far as businesses and taxes and many things. They've been partners for a long time. So it's not something that really worries me. I think a bigger worry is like natural disasters. You know, if I would have bought the condo I was looking at in the area in Fort Myers with the hurricane, who knows where I'd be right now? Who knows how much I'd be out? You know, things can happen. You can't worry about every little tiny thing that can happen. Another thing is that if you don't have all your ducks in a row for your visa, like me, I got all my paperwork. I'm just not concerned about that. I feel that everything is legit. I've done all my paperwork the right way. I've done it myself. And, you know, I got the right amount of money. I'm not pulling any shortcuts or anything. So I'm not too worried about the visa situation. Now, if you are, or, you know, if you're buying in one of these situations where it's in a company name and, you know, you're worried they may change the rules on that or get stricter on that, yeah, that's an honest concern. You know, I feel you there. But in my situation, it's not a big concern. You know, there's other things I worry about more. Somebody mentioned, you know, what if breaks out? You know, wouldn't your investment be safer in your own country? I mean, who's to choose which country is the safest investment? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody can predict the future. I don't know. You know, is anybody going to be sending things towards Thailand? You know what I mean? If there's a, I don't think Thailand's going to be the epicenter for. All right, let's get to a few nightmare stories and conclude this video. Story number 1. A friend of mine knows a guy in his building. The guy has his unit and started having a leak in the ceiling, the ceiling in his bathroom right above where he uses it. The person that lives there is out of town. They're not here. They're gone for like 6 months. Their juristic office says they don't have a key. They can't contact the owner. They say they don't have the right to go in his unit. They can't go into his unit, which is total BS. That is bullshit. If it's doing damage to the unit under you, they should be going in. But it sounds like it's a very weak juristic office, and I don't know who the owner of the one above, and they don't want to go in. They turned off the water. It's still leaking. This guy can't figure out what the problem is. It's his only bathroom. So when he's in there now, he has to put a towel over it. Oh, and it's brown water. The water's like brown. He puts a towel over his head to use his toilet in his own bathroom. I don't know. If it was me, I'd be like, screw that. I'd be cutting a hole up there and hiring somebody to figure out what they got to do and just sue the guy, bill the guy, sue the juristic, whatever I got to do. We'd be going to court. We'd be battling. You know, I'm not sure the exact situation there. I was told this story. Now, another story I was told, and this one's firsthand, the victim told me the story, and it's a friend of mine. So he had a unit in Jomtien. I'm not going to say any unit names, nothing. I'm not allowed to do that. I don't want to get sued or whatever, libel. So some people moved in. They're partying every night on the balcony till 6 a.m. Smoking, loud music. And when they do turn the music off, they're still smoking cigars up there, doing all this stuff. And he says in his bedroom, he can smell the smoke. Like it just was so gross. And he also went to the juristic office, and they won't do crap. The people that are in that unit are owners. He's just a renter. Now he talked to his landlord, and his landlord can't get anything done about it. You know, he was just stuck. And the juristic office is like, no, those people own the unit. We can't tell them anything. We can't tell them what to do. So that right there, I think, is the biggest downfall to buying a condo, living in a condo, and having just a shitty neighbor that's just going to destroy your happiness, destroy your life there, make you miserable and depressed. That would suck, and it can happen. Fortunately, in my case, it has not happened for me, but it does happen. It does. If this has happened to you, leave me a comment, send me a message. I'd like to hear. You know, I am doing a follow-up, and it's about 1 or 2 horror stories that I read about, which are much more lengthy. It's just, you know, big, long stories that I really want to get into and talk to you guys about. What do you think my buddy should do? He ended up leaving. He lost a little bit of money. I think he didn't pay for a few weeks and just left. And so I think they got like half a month's security deposit from him. And luckily, he was a renter. He could leave. Many people have commented on they don't want to be stuck in one place. And I understand that. I completely understand that. For me, even though I bought this, I still have a plan to go from here to there, and I'm still traveling. I'm going to different places, and luckily I put away a little extra money so I can still afford to travel. You know, like say 1 week a month, and go experience other places. I wouldn't want to be stuck here and not be able to go anywhere. If you're in a position where you're buying a place and like putting the money into it, you're going to be stuck there and can't do anything else. I would not do it in that case. I would not do it. If you can't afford to do it, I would not do it. If it's going to tap you out, don't do it. If you got the extra money and you're looking for a little nest egg to hide your money and keep it for a while where it's not going to really go down, might go up, might go down a little bit, but you're not going to lose your ass. It's safe. It's a safe investment. Then it's good for you. And it's not really an investment. If you're enjoying it and you live there, then you're good to go. Greeny out. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, please subscribe. See you in the next video.